We had a spectacular rain system come through town the last 24 hours. I'd say I got at least 1.5 inches. Hey, Mr. Rooster. Hey, girls. My neighbor Teresa gave me a bunch of leftovers that I didn't want to eat like apple pie, and so the chickens are scarfing it down for me. What I want to show today is a hot pepper that I'm extremely fond of. Here's the plant. I've got it growing in a 5-gallon water-wise container garden. Blue plastic tub that a swimming pool chemicals would come in. It's an extremely productive pepper. I got it from my neighbor years ago, Filipino neighbor Joe. When I first bought this house, he gave me a couple pods. It's kind of like a Thai pepper in terms of heat and flavor, but what's remarkable about it is it's truly perennial. The original plant finally died last winter in the freeze, and I think at that point that thing was 8 years old. It makes a true trunk. And I guess it was 6 years ago I met my friend Alan Boatman, who's probably the most hot pepper expert person I've ever met. I think he's up to 1,300 kinds in his collection. He runs the gardens at Falkenberg Jail. When he saw the plant, the original, he immediately identified the species as Capsicum frutescens, and then he quickly qualified that by saying it's what's called a tree pepper, because it makes a true woody trunk. You can see this plant is making a trunk. It's not even, 8 months old yet from a seed. It makes two main crops. There's a very heavy crop in the spring, and then and they're much longer. What's funny is the fall crop. The pods are always much shorter, but they're sweeter. When I make hot pepper sauce with them, I prefer the sauces I get from the autumn crop. I've never had it have any diseases, bugs, issues. And what I do is I treat it like a rose. Each spring, whether or not there's been freeze damage, I cut the plant back hard and give it a good feeding, something high nitrogen, and it regrows just like a rose would, and then continues to bear again. I'm going to be selling plants of this form hopefully next year, because it is so productive here in Tampa. I think that's pretty much it. One of the things that people have pointed out to me about it is the positioning of the pods. Sometimes they point up, sometimes they hang slightly down. I think the true Thai peppers hang straight down, but I don't know that much about it. All I know is I love to cook. I love to cook very spicy, garlicky food, and this plant lets me make tons and tons of food like that with minimal expense and minimal hassle. Because Alan has studied hot peppers so much, he asked me to abide by a study name for it because of its history of origin. So I call it officially, it's the Filipino Mexican tree pepper. The reason is Joe, who gave me the seeds, is Filipino. He got the seeds from a Filipino friend who was traveling in southern Mexico. So Filipino Mexican tree pepper. Have a good one, y'all. Bye-bye.